made it to Scotland.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome aboard.
We are spending 5 full days road tripping around Scotland. I'll be sharing our complete travel guide to the best things to do, eat, and see in Scotland. So we are spending 1 week road tripping around Scotland. There's crows here. It's early in the morning. So we just arrived yesterday afternoon. We picked up our car rental, went out to eat. Here's our little car that we're road tripping around Scotland with. So in Scotland and the UK, you drive on the left side of the road. So that's been fun. So yesterday was our first time doing left side driving on the road, and the cars are right drive. And they're all manual. Vince loves that because he thinks we should all still be driving manual. He loves manual. So yeah, it's been interesting. So now he's having to shift with left hand on the opposite side of the car, driving on the opposite side of the road. So
pedals are normal though.
Yeah, the pedals are at least normal. So that's been interesting. But he's doing a really good job. And this is not our first time driving international. We have driven in Germany and Austria, and we drove in Mexico once. But Germany and Austria, everything's like the US. So this has been fun. How's it going, hon?
Good.
Yeah, it's only like our first full day, so we haven't died yet. So we're good.
The hardest part is like where you are on the road, because you think you're more to the left than you really are.
Yeah, he likes to hug.
It's hard.
Hug the curb on my side more because
you gotta hug the right.
Yeah, you have to hug the middle. So it's been interesting, but the nice thing about Scotland is it's pretty easy and relaxed here for driving. So, and that's what, of course, we wanted to do with our first time driving on this side of the road and different car and all that good stuff. So anyways, so we are off for a morning hike this morning, so follow along as we share our week as we road trip around Scotland. On our first full day, we headed to Loch Lomond National Park area. The drive to Loch Lomond brought us through some beautiful countryside, charming villages, rolling hills, and flocks of sheep grazing in the meadows. We started our morning by hiking Connacht Hill. This trail goes through the diverse landscape that Scotland offers. The lush green moody forest was nothing like we've ever seen. It eventually opens up out of the forest where you make your way to some amazing aerial views of Loch Lomond. The hike is just a little bit over 3 miles long. It's a fairly steep climb, but totally worth it. You may even find some sheep at the top or along the way during your hike. Once to the top, the views were absolutely breathtaking. If you're looking for a hike in the area, I highly recommend Connacht Hill. Next, we drove to the other side of Loch Lomond and made a quick stop at Less Pier, where we walked through the village of Less and around the Less Parish Church. This was a nice, quick little stop in this adorable little village. After Less, the landscape started to change. We were greeted with some dramatic mountain landscapes and forests that weaved in and out of lochs. We just did a bunch of different random stops along the drive to Fort Williams. Scottish rains have found us, but we knew that because I feel like it always rains in Scotland. We've been to Ireland, and when we were in Ireland, it rained quite a bit. And we were in Ireland in June, we're here in April, so we totally came prepared for some rain, but it makes it so moody, and these lochs and the hills, mountains, oh my gosh. The landscape here, amazing. It's so beautiful. And if you're not aware of what a loch is, it's basically the same word as lake or sea inlet. Also, FYI, Scotland is one of the wettest countries in Europe, and it receives the highest amounts of rain in the entire United Kingdom, mostly due to its mountainous landscapes. So visiting here, we completely knew what could be. We came fully prepared with rain gear, as the weather can change dramatically at any second in Scotland. We did a quick stop to see the beautiful Inverary Castle. In order to go inside the castle, you have to purchase tickets. We decided to just enjoy it from the outside. The castle and grounds are absolutely beautiful, and just down the road from the castle you'll find a whole flock of sheep that you can get pretty close to. Fun fact, there's more sheep in Scotland than there are people. There's over 6.6 million sheep in Scotland and almost 15,000 sheep farmers. I'm totally obsessed with the sheep. They're everywhere, all over. They're on the hills and the mountains. Everywhere there's just little sheep and lambs running around everywhere. They're so beautiful. Another quick stop along our road trip, we stopped at Kilchurn Castle. We just took in the views of it across Loch Awe before we made it to Fort Williams for the night, and we went straight downtown for dinner. We got our first Scottish food experience going on. This is a haggis taster. So this is haggis, this is a seaweed biscuit, and this is heavy cream. So this is like a Scottish dish. Alright, I'm gonna try the haggis first. Haggis is the national dish of Scotland. It's composed of liver, hearts, and lungs of sheep. Then it's minced and mixed with beef or mutton suet, onion, oatmeal, and spices. The mixture is then packed into a sheep's stomach and boiled. I'll be very honest, it wasn't our favorite. I guess we're not a fan of foods that are made out of organs. That's why we only got a taster plate of it. But I'm still glad we tried it. And FYI, haggis is actually banned in the USA due to the ban of foods that contain sheep lungs. Then we enjoyed our mushroom and ham pizza.
All right, we made it to our hotel, and it is our first full day of driving here in Scotland on the left side of the road.
Having sleep helps.
Yeah, having sleep helps.
It was a little chaotic right away.
How's the right drive car with the manual on the left?
The manual's not the problem. The right drive car is not the problem. It's like just knowing where you are on the road because you're on the right side of the car and you think you're always too far to the left.
So driving here is actually pretty easy, would you say?
The roundabouts are stressful.
The roundabouts are a little tricky.
If there's cars at them, it's stressful.
I've been using Google Maps. We have Verizon. It's been working awesome this entire trip. I'm climbing over the seat of the drivers. One thing
They need to make these parking spaces bigger, man. Damn, what the hell?
Parking spots are itty bitty.
Like a foot more on each side of the car.
Like there's no room. I couldn't even get out on my side. And then also roads are very narrow here compared to the US. So when you're passing like big vehicles like semis and stuff, it's extremely scary.
It is very scary.
And just, yeah, everything's smaller. We're staying in a castle tonight. It's so cute. It's like a mini castle. So we just got gas for the first time, which is petrol. They have diesel and petrol here. Our car is a petrol. And I think we did the math right. It's roughly about $8 a gallon, even though there's in liters, because we had to do all the conversions to kind of figure out how much it is. So I think it's about $7 or $8 a gallon, but it's $1.62 a liter. But a liter is like a quarter of a gallon about, so then you had to times that by 4 and whatnot. So anyways,
it's expensive.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely more than the States. So when we're complaining about gas prices right now in the States, don't complain. I think we had about half a tank, but we don't know how big the tank is. It might be, I think it's a small tank.
Small car.
Yeah. So it was about $45 for about half a tank of gas, but I'm pretty sure the tank is small here. So that kind of gives you a little perspective of, yeah, gas here in Scotland.
We woke up to a rainy morning. We started our morning by visiting the Glenfinnan Viaduct Railway. All you Harry Potter fans should know exactly what this is. We got to see the very first steam train of the season roll through on the viaduct. There's only 2 trains a day, so you have to time your visit accordingly to catch the train. It was amazing to see the train in all its steam, and it draws quite a crowd. Check out all the people who were there to see the first train of the year. We decided to make a quick coffee stop at our favorite international coffee shop, Costa Coffee. It's honestly the best coffee. We then made our way to the Isle of Skye and did a ton of random stops along the way to enjoy all the mountain views, waterfalls, lochs, and tons of sheep. We were completely surprised by Scotland's rugged beauty and dramatic scenery. There were small little waterfalls coming down all along the mountains, and we even saw some snow-capped mountains in the distance. I feel like the rainy, foggy weather just added an extra magical sense to Scotland's moody beauty. It was one of the most beautiful drives we've ever experienced before getting to our next stop, the Eilean Donan Castle. This is another castle that you can buy tickets to go inside and tour. However, we decided to just do a quick stop and admire it from the outside. It was a beautiful castle.
All my cute little Scottish cow dreams are coming true. They're so cute. We see them all over. Finally found an area where we could stop and get a close-up.
Our final stop in Isle of the Skye for the next 2 nights was the fishing village of Portree. It sits on the Loch Portree Harbor and is the capital of Isle of Skye. We walked through the narrow streets of downtown and enjoyed a dinner at a local pub.
We're hiking with sheep this morning. They're all over the trail here. It's so pretty and moody. It's not raining, it's just moody. And we are the only ones on the trail. Only person in the parking lot. Oh my gosh.
We kicked off our morning with a hike to the old manor storr. This hike is roughly 3 miles round trip and is a constant climb on gravel and stairs. And yes, there was tons of sheep grazing all along this trail. This is one of the most iconic and photographed locations in Scotland, as it has the spiky pinnacles of rocks against the backdrop of rolling green hills and coastline views of Isle of Skye. We had clouds weaving in and out of the rocks, and as we got to the top, we kind of felt like we were stepping into another world. It felt mysterious, standing among these rugged pinnacles with nobody else around, just us, to enjoy the silence and sights of Old Man of Storr. This is one of those hikes that you absolutely must do if you're in Scotland.
You guys, this is like planet Earth. We feel like we're on a different planet. And I know these clouds keep coming in and out of here, but we're totally digging the mood. We're the only ones here. It's so peaceful. You hear like little waterfalls coming down the rocks and the birds. Oh, it's like magical.
The rest of our day, we road tripped all around Isle of Skye and stopped at some of the most popular stops, such as Kilt Rock, Melt Falls, the Queering, the Fairy Glen, and a bunch of random pull-ups along the way that don't really have any names. And that's what I love about road trip. It offers you the flexibility to just stop and go as you please. We had the entire day to explore, so we took it slow pace and enjoyed all the sights that Skye had to offer. On our 4th day, we said goodbye to Isle of Skye and drove to our first stop, the famous Loch Ness. Unfortunately, we did not see the Loch Ness monster. However, I could totally see a monster living in these deep, narrow lochs. We then spent a few hours in the town of Inverness, and of course had to stop at Costa Coffee again. This was such a pretty little Scottish town, as it is from the Victorian era, and it's a perfect town to explore by foot. From the city center, we enjoyed views of the Inverness Castle, quaint shops, and views of the River Ness. I highly recommend adding this town to your Scotland itinerary. We really enjoyed it. Next up, we stopped and toured the Blair Castle. This was very unique and unlike any other castle we've ever visited. You wouldn't know it from the outside, but inside it was very masculine and medieval feeling, filled with deer antlers and weapons, but then some of the rooms felt very Victorian. It was a very mixed and unique style. I found it very interesting and I actually really enjoyed it. We were glad we purchased tickets for this castle. It was definitely worth it to us. Our final stop for the day and where we stayed for the night was the town of Pitlochry. We did a bit of sightseeing from the main street before we indulged at dinner. It's officially our last full day in Scotland, and the first thing we had to do was go get our COVID test done so we could fly back to the USA.
We got our COVID test results. We're negative! Now it's time to party!
We spent our last full day in Edinburgh. This was definitely one of the most Gothic medieval cities we've ever been to. It's ranked as one of the most attractive cities in the world and is a great city to be explored by foot. The Edinburgh Castle is the heart of city center, and we just randomly walked the streets around city center, near Victoria Street, over to the palace, and ended our time with a hike to the top of Carlton Hill for some beautiful aerial views of the city. We really loved Edinburgh. It's definitely one of our favorite large cities we've ever visited in Europe. And that's a wrap on some of the best things to do, eat, and see while road tripping in Scotland. And I hope you found this video helpful as you plan your Scotland trip. If you have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys in the next vlog.